Hey Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So I'm going to go ahead and do some live questions. We'll give people time to show up and we'll see who shows up. I have with me here my daughter's boyfriend Josh. Hey Josh.
Hello.
And he will be joining us. So let's see who we get online here. We had someone on there, they left. So we're doing a live answer questions with the new He-Man Origins figures. So one thing before we get jumping into this is for those who have not seen, I did my knee surgery finally for my Tila figure, and you can see here's the before and here's the after with the new knee surgery. I probably could have done it a little smoother, but this was kind of the first one. So I might go back and do some reshaping of this. So, Josh, has anybody asked any questions yet?
Nothing yet.
All right. So we'll just hang out and see some questions. One question I did get yesterday on the actual, in the comments, was they were wondering about Beastman. So one of the things about Beastman was, could you use the Super 7 5.5 figure head for this Beastman? And I told them, no, you can't. But what we can do is we can actually still swap the head out with the Super 7 Classics. So let's go ahead and try that and see how it works. Did you get that one from a Jason that came in?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to have Josh go and read what you said out loud, Jason.
The Beastman carrying Tila pose is hilarious. I wish I'd thought of it.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. So I went ahead and pulled off the head from this one, and let's go ahead and stick it onto the Origins. That's a tight fit. You can do it. There we go. So there you go. You can make yourself a Filmation looking Beastman if you want by using the Super 7 head. Just for kicks. Let's see how he looks with the Origins head. Wow, that looks kind of ridiculous. All right. So what do you guys think? Yay, nay? Better, worse? All right. So one of the other questions we had was about the boots. Now, we were talking about the way to make a good Filmation Beastman is, of course, you got to swap out the boots. And so I didn't realize, but I had some red boots right here on this guy. Notice it does have these yellow question mark things looking on them, so you probably want to paint over those or clean off the paint with acetone.
And we got a question in from Jason again.
Okay.
What are the odds we get accessory packs for the Origin lines with heads, hands, and things like that?
That'd be cool. I'm not sure what the accessory packs it's going to include the heads, hands, and stuff, but we'll definitely get accessory packs for weapons and stuff, I'm sure. But we did see that we had some exclusives coming out, which will have extra heads and some with extra hands on those, some of those figures that will be coming out next year. So what do you guys think? Besides the question mark, there's our Filmation Beastman.
And we got another comment from All Music Fan saying, or they just start including extra hands, heads, and etc. in with each figure.
It's a good question. I know they are planning on doing that. They're going to have those exclusive figures like you saw. The new He-Man coming out with the barrel roll. He's going to have the extra head and extra parts and extra hands. And we also saw Clamp Champ with extra hands as well. So I think that's really the ones we're going to see. But I'm pretty sure that Mattel is going to release something with more. They got to with more accessories besides just hands and heads. There's got to be some kind of pack coming out. Let's put the furry.
And we got a question from JMC Entertainment. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Just hanging out with you with my daughter's boyfriend. All right. So, any other questions? I'll go and throw the Tila back on there since Jason thought it was cool. All right. So as you guys know, I did swap out my Man-at-Arm boots.
And we we got a question from Adrian the Prince. Do you know if the Super 7's Ultimate Filmation He-Man will fit on the Origins battle kit?
Actually, it does, and it looks really good. Let me go and grab that Origins figure really quick and show you guys, or the Super 7 He-Man figure really quick, and let me show you how cool it actually does look. So hold up a sec. All right, I am back. Sorry about that, you guys. So, I actually have the Mattel one here, not the Super 7 one, but you know, it's very similar. And let's go ahead and try this out. Now, I did see some really cool custom online where somebody took the jaw and they painted it with an orange line around it to kind of match, I guess his is an orange, to match the old style, and it actually worked pretty good. But this Battle Cat's actually larger than the 5.5-inch Battle Cat that we got in the 80s. It's not as big as the Battle Cat we got for Classics, but it's still a pretty good size. So you can see there, he does work pretty good on it. It'd make a great Filmation cat. So I think that does work pretty good. I'm kind of thinking about maybe altering him and turning him into like a Cringer custom or something for Classics. All right. Any other questions you guys have about the Origins figures? Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going and talking about some of my cool stuff. For those who haven't seen, I actually did turn my Skeletor into a Filmation Skeletor.
And we got a question from Master Far. What do you think of the Galaxy Warriors Motu knockoff?
I think they're pretty cool. I do like their stuff a lot. It would be kind of nice to do some of those Origin stuff too. But all right, I saw another comment come in too.
From Adrian saying that looks really good. Thank you.
Oh, sure, Adrian. Thanks, man.
And then a continuation from Master Far saying especially the Baltard.
Yes, Baltar does look really cool. That would be a fun one to do in Origins.
And then Hunter Chakul asks, how is the quality on the figures?
Oh, the quality? So let's go and talk about that. So one thing I have noticed about these figures is the armor is kind of a soft rubbery type of material. So it doesn't feel like it's not going to break very easily. And I actually like that a lot. As you can really see it in Tila, you can actually turn her head while she's wearing her armor, which is pretty cool. And I've pointed out before, one thing I like about this armor is you could actually pull her head off and then tuck the armor back behind like a hood and then put her head back on. And it gives you a really cool aesthetic look of her Cobra armor without having the hood on, but still wearing the armor. The armor also does fit on the old 5.5 figures too. So if you have lost your armor on your old 80s figure, you can actually stick it on there as well.
And we got another one from JMC Entertainment. I've been rewatching the Netflix She-Ra again. Don't know if you noticed this, but it seems like they were setting up to explore Adora's origin, but then they just dropped it out of nowhere.
Yeah, I did kind of notice that. That was kind of strange. It would have been interesting to see the whole background of that. And I've often wondered if Kyle was supposed to be Prince Adam or how it was going to play out. So that was kind of a fun little thing too, to try to figure out what they were planning with that.
And then from Master Far, I hear people are working on heads and armor for Origins based on Galaxy Warriors.
That would be cool. That makes a lot of sense, because casting heads for this would be pretty easy to do. As you guys know, I've actually taken heads from the 80s figures and altered them to fit these types of figures. So it's not that difficult. Basically, you have to take an old 80s figure. Let's see if I got one here. I guess I'd have a Beastman. Oh, I got Hebrew. Basically, after you get the head off, you have to sand off the neck and then add some O-rings or something else inside the head so it can pop on to the ball joint. And that usually works pretty good.
And then from, I'm sorry if I butchered this last name, but Carlos Caceres, have you painted the shoulders on any Origins figures? And if you have any tips to avoid paint rub?
That is a really excellent question. I actually answered this question earlier today, but I'll go ahead and answer it verbally too. So if you're going to ever paint these figures, the most important part is to make sure they're clean first. So I would suggest taking the figures and using warm water and basically take every single piece off of them. And then after you get it all taken apart, use warm water, pull it apart here as well. Then I would do a light sand on it. You do a wet sand. After you do your wet sand, I would do an alcohol clean and then wipe off the alcohol before it evaporates on each part. Now, where they actually meet, like where the circle is here and this part here, I would sand this down a little bit to give it some area room. Now, what's cool is the latest ones that came out, they already have that room. It's like they made the pegs longer, so there's a small gap in there. Once you paint the figure, make sure you use an acrylic-based paint. Don't use testers or a gloss paint or leave the plastic sticky. You then want to coat the area with a thin layer of super glue where it's going to potentially rub. Then after you get that super glue on there, let it dry, of course, real thin layer. Then coat the whole thing in a matte, clear finish, and that will protect the figure. And that's kind of the key to getting parts where they're close before they rub. Did that answer your question?
And then while we're waiting on a response, we got another question from Master Farr. How do these figures scale with the vintage Snake Mountain?
Ah, excellent question. I do not have a vintage Snake Mountain anymore, so I can't compare it with it. But if you take a look, here we have a vintage Beastman next to the new Beastman, and their sizes are very comparable. The difference is their legs are straight, but if you were to bend their legs the same way, they'd probably be about the same height. So I imagine it looked just like the old figures you had when you were a kid. You can see with his legs bent. He's a little bit taller. But the figures do scale very close to the old 80s figures in size.
And we got a comment from Andy Davis. I tweaked my Origin Skeletor last night because of your videos. Thank you for the inspiration.
Oh, cool. So does he look like this now, or did you just do the closed mouth like I did on this one?
And Carlos Casares again saying thank you. It did answer his question. And from JMC Entertainment, have you been reading speak today apparently. Did you read the DC Comics He-Man and Thundercats crossover comic?
I have not read that yet. I heard it's really cool. I'm actually really excited to see the multiverse He-Man comic more than and the Thundercats. I've seen some of the artwork for the Thundercats. I'm just not super impressed with the artwork, so it's kind of hard for me to get into it. But who knows? Maybe the inside of the comic looks different than the outside. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, though. But the multiverse one does look pretty cool. And I think they're setting us up for something with the multiverse. As you saw, that new He-Man game coming out definitely is based on that multiverse concept.
And we got Master Farr again saying that needs to be a movie, and then asking, so do you think they can stand on the bridge and at the top step by the gate?
Those are all good questions. You know what? I actually might have the gate here. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on a sec. Sorry, man. I forgot. I pulled the gate off it a long time ago, but never got rid of the mountain. Door's missing. Hold on, you guys. Let me find the door.
And then JMC Entertainment saying he's read the Multiverse comic, and in his opinion, it was pretty underwhelming, or at least for him.
Really? Oh, that's a bummer, man. All right, so here is the gate from Snake Mountain, because I did keep that, because I was hoping to do some cool custom with it. But because of lack of space, I got rid of the rest of the mountain. And there you go. Let's put Skeletor in there.
And then Andy Davis, continuing what he was saying, is he blacked out the eyes for the filmation look and cleaned up and darkened the mouth lines on his Skeletor.
Oh, nice. Now, the trap door on mine, I actually glued it shut, so I can't try out the trap door to see if he can fall through. But it looks like the opening would be big enough for him to fit through there without a problem. So there you go. I forgot I had that.
Master Far saying, I want to find a loose Snake Mountain and restore it with parts from Shapeways.
Oh, that'd really be cool. Now, Super 7, they should be releasing that Snake Mountain pretty soon. That is going to be really cool when they do. How many of you guys have subscribed to that or have ordered that new Snake Mountain coming out? If you have, just sound off. All right. I guess nobody has. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? While we're waiting, check out my flashing thing. I know this is not He-Man, but since you guys are asking questions, you get a look at my flashing thing. Battle it out for a few seconds. Those that are follow my Facebook can see my crazy pictures of my figures. They're always fun to kind of mess around with when I'm bored at work. When I'm stuck in meetings, sometimes I'll grab my figures and I will pose them in different ways. Any other questions?
From JMC Entertainment, do you think or hope that the new He-Man series coming will introduce a new evil faction like the Horde, the Snake Man, etc.?
Oh, that'd be cool. So which one are you referring to? The one that Mattel's going to make or the one that Kevin Smith's going to make?
And then while we're waiting for that, from Jim Andrasky, I believe. When you reviewed the Sky Sled you mentioned, it looked like the artwork had Adam riding the Sky Sleds in the background.
Yeah, it did look like that, but I looked closer and I was wrong. It was actually the guards. It did have one Adam, but the other ones were guards. It actually was helmets, not blonde hair. When I went back and watched the video, I was like, oh, but with my bad eyes and looking at it through the little lens of my camera, it looked like it was a bunch of Prince Adams, but it was the mini comic guards.
And then Jim again saying, I think they are actually royal guards with yellow helmets.
Yep.
Confirming what you just said.
That's what it was.
And JMC Entertainment said either one for the Horde or the Snake Man.
All right. I hope they come with some new faction. That'd really be cool. I'm guessing if we're going to have a new faction, it would probably be through Kevin Smith's, just because he has some really cool ideas. But Mattel is always trying to sell toys, so they may introduce some new faction just to get more toys out. But we do have a lot of figures to go through first before we get to new factions. So who knows what we'll see.
And then we got Master Far again, hoping that they get a new hoping that they get a new Castle Grayskull coming out soon.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Especially if it was one the size of classics. That would be amazing.
And then from DTP, could you use a He-Man body from Origins with a Prince Adam head from Origins to make a better Origins He-Man?
Yes, in fact, the Prince Adam head does work better, I found. I'm attempting to get a second Prince Adam head just so I could do that. So this right here is actually the one from the con, but I'll go ahead and pull the head off so you can see. And then the Prince Adam head, it just is better than... Here, I'll show for those that don't know. So here are the heads that we got before, and we have the darker one is from the con, and the lighter one is the one released in the package recently. And look at the eyebrows. You can just see the eyebrows. It looks like he's almost sad or upset. But this looks like, oh, he's fierce. But it's the same mold. It's just the way it came out. So at the Prince Adam head, if you look at his eyebrows, they're not too bad. And so sticking his head on He-Man, now it doesn't match his skin totally in this one, but it does match perfectly on the one that came out of the package. But I already got the head I want on this one, so I don't want to pop it off because it's a classic head and it's hard to get off and on. But yes, I would definitely use a Prince Adam head. I'm kind of planning on maybe doing that anyway.
And then from Phoenix Richardson, do you think there's any chance they'll just reissue the classic Castle Grayskull for this line and Master Far adding, or maybe even the vintage one?
I don't think they'll reissue the vintage one. I think those molds are probably long gone. But and the classics one, if they do reissue it, they'll probably definitely make it not quite as cool, a lot less paint apps, and not as many things on the inside. just because it costs so much to create all those cool things we got extra and all the extra paint apps. I mean, you got to remember when that castle came out, I think with shipping and everything, it was like 450, and you can't expect parents to spend 450 for their kids for uh, it sounds awful, a He-Man dollhouse. Okay, that's a lot of money, even though as cool as it is. And remember, in the past, the most expensive thing we had was Eternia, and even Eternia was it 350 I think when it first came out, and that was massive, and a lot of parents didn't buy it, and there was a lot left over that didn't get sold. All right, any other questions?
And Master Far and imagine if they released Eternia.
Oh, that would be awesome. I hopefully if they do release something like that, I can see them doing it in parts where they have the center tower, and then they have the after the center tower is released, then release the Snake Mountain side, and then release the Castle Grayskull side. I could see them doing that. That 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 could be pretty cool. And then of course, hopefully the monorail would be made better, because you guys know that monorail track, when you snap it together, if you try to take it back apart, it is just going to break on you. Now there is a guy on eBay that does sell the monorail track that he had new recasted and everything with steel molds, and it is quite impressive. If you ever get Eternia, don't build the track, just buy his retro pieces.
And then we have Jim again with, does the Super 7 robot He-Man head fit on the He-Man body?
Oh, good question. I have not opened up my Roboto. He's still in the box. I'm not a huge fan of Roboto, but I imagine if you were to heat the head up, you should be able to stretch it out and put it on there. I'm a fan of the Classics Roboto, but the Filmation Roboto just, to me, looked kind of weird.
And then from JMC Entertainment, I'm working on my own adaptation of He-Man and She-Ra. It'll be a mixture of the 2002 He-Man and 2018 She-Ra and the 2011 Thundercats.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That was my favorite Thundercats.
Oh, was it yours?
Yeah, 2011 was great.
That was really cool, yeah. I love the whole thing with, the two main guys, kind of the whole jealousy between them and everything else. It was kind of cool.
They definitely had really good character development.
They did.
And then from Q's Gamer, what do you think of the deluxe figures in this line?
The deluxe figures I think look awesome. As you guys know, I cannot wait for Clamp Champ. I already got some yellow armor and a sword waiting to make my Hebrew set aside. And so that's just waiting for its parts. What I don't like is how small the armor plate is on the battle armor for He-Man. Hopefully they fix that before they release it. It looked like it was still computer drawing graphics, so maybe they haven't actually put it in production yet, though. So we'll see what we get.
And then from Master Far, they could just do the center tower and add the connection parts to an Origins Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain.
That'd be cool too. I've actually thought in the past they could have done that with the original Eternia. You know, if kids already had Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull, just to have the center part. But if not, they could also do them as separate towers to Viper Tower and what do they call the Heroic Tower? Do you know?
No? Off the top of my head, unfortunately.
If you guys know, post it in the comments what they call the Heroic Tower, the Castle Grayskull side.
And then from Carlos again, they will have they should have switched the Prince Adam head with the He-Man.
Yep. I agree that they did something wrong with the eyebrows. You're right. Usually Prince Adam's a little more scared, so it does make more sense to have these eyebrows on Prince Adam than these eyebrows. So, yep. That is a good call.
And then Master Far saying that they called it the Grayskull Tower.
Oh, the Grayskull Tower. Thanks, man.
And then JMC about his fan series he's doing is that's going to be exploring Catra's origins.
Oh, Catra. So you're going to have the mask in there too and how she gets the mask, or are you going to do a different Catra?
And then Jim saying he would, to clarify about the robot, it was Robot He-Man, not Roboto.
Oh, Robot He-Man. Okay, from Super 7. Yeah, let me grab that head and stick it on and see how it looks. I was trying to figure out, why does he want Roboto? Okay.
And then Phoenix Richardson saying, I'm not sure if you can see this image, but he's got a picture of Horde Destro. But unfortunately, the picture is not up. We can't see it on our end yet.
Let's see. So is this the head you're talking about?
And then from Smooth Boo, while we're waiting, they should make Manny faces with just He-Man's faces.
That would be kind of funny. All right, so I'm going to try. This is a standard hole in it. I don't know if it's going to work or not because I don't have my stuff to heat it up in here. I'll just throw it on this wrestling figure. Yep, I'd have to heat it up first, but I'm sure it would work if I was to heat it up first.
Yeah, and Jim was saying that, yes, that is the one he was talking about.
Yep. If you were to heat it up first, just like I did with this head, because this head is also from Classics, it should fit. It's just it requires some heat.
And then JMC saying he's doing the 2018 version of Catra, but she's going to be able to transform in his version.
Oh, nice. Just like that one episode we saw where Bo had them all like the old style. That was so cool. That was my favorite episode.
And then Q's Gamer saying, maybe a dumb question, but which version of Panther will we get? And your thoughts on any store exclusives?
So we're going to get two Panthers. We're going to get both the flocked and the non-flocked. I personally am going to buy the flocked. Who knows? Maybe I'll buy both. But the flocked one does cost more. I think it's $15 more if you want to get the flocked version or something like that.
And then Master Far adding that they're probably going to do Point Dread and Talon Fighter.
That'd be cool. That makes sense being they did it with Mega Blocks as well. And what's crazy is they do that and not a Castle Grayskull for an add-on piece. That'd be kind of strange. Oh, here comes the snake. All right, you guys. We've been on here for just about half an hour, so I'll take a few final questions and then we'll call it. It would be very easy to make a Filmation He-Man just by grabbing the Super 7 head and the armor and tossing it onto an Origins He-Man in case you guys were curious.
And then we've got Master Far. I wonder if we'll get a Modulok and King Hiss.
Modulok would be cool. The funny thing is, being these parts are also modular, they were almost all the figures are already Modulok. But yeah, it would be cool if we actually got Modulok. King Hiss would be awesome too. I don't know if they're gonna make King Hiss actually pop apart. We did see those snake parts for the wrestling guys, or if King Hiss will be a modular where we just take and pop them off like we did with Classics and put them back together with the snake piece on top. Oh man, I should try that out and see if it's the same size connection points as King Hiss is.
And then we got Nicholas wondering the Battle Armor Motu in Origins. Wondering if we're going to get one.
You mean Battle Armor He-Man? Oh, it works? Hey, thanks, Carlos. I'm not sure. I know we got the battle armor coming out for Origins, but I'm not quite sure what your question is.
And add on to that from Hunter Too Cool. What's your favorite Motu figure?
Okay, this is a tough one. In order to put them in, sometimes it's Manny Faces. Sometimes it used to be Man at Arms when I was younger. If I only have one figure, and when I was a kid and I had to go in the car, and Mom said, "Hey, grab a figure," it would have been Cyclone, because Cyclone had that cool spinning feature, and I'd spin him around, have him fly and stuff, and that was always fun if you only get one figure. But as I mentioned before, my top 11, Manny Faces is definitely in there, because Manny Faces just screams Masters of the Universe because his head changes and his name is Man Faces. But I also like Trapjaw. He's pretty cool because he has the cool weapons that change out, and I'm really excited about the second release to get Trapjaw. He's in my cart for pre-order, so It'd be cool to get them.
And then from DTP, do you think you could use the blue weapons from John Cena from the Masters of the WWE Universe ring for an Ice Armor He-Man?
Yes, in fact, I am planning on hopefully making an Ice Armor He-Man. And let me show you how that looks. I did have a video about it before. Hold on, I'll move the camera for a second to get into my figures here.
And while you're doing that, Zeniel saying, I think it would be awesome if we have a Filmation snake mouth.
That would be cool. Oh, I didn't put it in this case. While I'm here, I might as well pull out my Ice Armor He-Man so you guys can see how cool he is. Oh.
And then we got Jim again. It looks like the Clamp Champ is going to be coming with 2 heads. Which one would you use for Hebro?
I haven't really looked at both to see which one I'm going to use yet. I'm just excited we're getting him at all. I guess when I get him, I might figure it out. Who knows? I might make 2 Hebros, one with each head.
And then back to Master Far. How do you feel about Zodak being a hero instead of neutral now?
That's a good question. Hold on a sec. Let me get the Ice Armor guy. Usually I have him in here all the time. Oh, there he is. All right. Sorry about that. I'm back. So let's see. Zodak's neutrality versus being a hero. So first of all, here's my Ice Armor guy while I'm showing you this. So for Zodak, I know originally he was supposed to be evil. Oh, it does not fit in his hand. That stinks. You have to sand this down to get it to fit inside his hand. But it does fit in his back. So as they kind of figured out the box art and what to do and stuff, they eventually made Zodak neutral. And then we saw in the Filmation cartoons that Zodak ended up becoming more heroic than neutral. Now we saw Zodak with a K. Ooh, that's not good. I've had this shield in his hand for a number of days, actually probably about a week or more. And I just noticed his pinky is messed up. I wonder if the pressure of the shield shoved his pinky to be broken like that. That stinks. No. Looks like some kid chewed on it or something. That's a bummer. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's okay because we've seen Zodak be heroic for a long time now. So I think it's okay that we're not going to have him be a neutral party. When I was a kid, when I played my figures, if one team started winning too much, Zodak would come out and smack the other team to kind of keep it even.
And we got Carlos. Who do you want to see most in Origins and in WWE Masters that has yet to be announced?
Oh, now before it was really easy to say, I would have said Clamp Champ, but now it's kind of tough because we have Ram Man coming, and Ram Man looks really cool. That's a tough one. I guess I'd like to see Shadow Weaver. I think a really good Shadow Weaver would be cool to have in this size. Maybe even a Queen Marlena because we never got one. I think those would kind of be fun to have ones we never got as kids in Origins.
And then Master Far saying he'd like to see Captain Lou Albano and the Sorceress.
Oh, the Sorcerer would be a good one too. Yep. It'd be cool if they did the 2000X version and the 80s version. But it's funny is when I was a kid, for me, the Sorceress used to always be Tila with her snake armor. Because when I was playing this as a kid, it was before the Sorceress even came out as a toy. So I used to pretend like my Tila would switch her armor out. I only had one Tila. And with no armor, she was the Tila hanging around Adam. And with the armor, she was the power Sorceress. And so I didn't have a Prince Adam because I used to play before Prince Adam came out too. And so she was the one that transformed, not He-Man. So it's kind of funny that I had her transforming.
And then from Adrian the Prince again, I have one more question. I'm thinking about doing some customs using Origin parts. Do you think that Origin's Prince Adam vest fits onto the Classics body, and if it is even removable?
Okay, so the vest is removable, but I'm not going to do it because it's kind of a pain to do. If you got to yank off his arms, you got to rip him in half, and then you have to carefully work the vest down the torso to get it off. So you'd split these apart. I'd use some heat. They did glue it here, which is not removable, but it is going to take some stretching to get on there. Once you get it off, though, you can't break the Classics in half to put it back on another Classics. But once you get it off, you may be able to separate this belt to make it fit. And I imagine it probably would fit on there once you got the belt separated. It might ride a little high on the waist, but it should fit though besides that part. Let's take a look there. Yeah, it does look like it might ride a little bit high on the waist, but it'll work. But it will be kind of a pain to get this part separated without causing damage to it. But I would wait till I got it off. You can see the seam of the glue right there. If you guys can see that or not, right in that area where they glued it. And now I just carefully pull that apart with hot water.
And then we got All Music Fan 88 saying he thinks the Super 7 Vintage Filmation Shadow Weaver fits right in with these new Origins.
Oh, yeah, actually that is a nice Filmation one they have. I did get some of those. You guys saw I made the new stand for that as well. So yeah, I guess that would work pretty good. All right, well, you guys, that's all I have for today. Now, do tune in this weekend. We're hoping to start our first class this Saturday, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And we're going to first talk about tools for customizing. And I should have my syllabus ready by then of all the different courses we're going to have. And we're going to have some lessons. And eventually we're going to talk about heat and pop, more advanced sanding, and even get into some really cool advanced stuff of 3D scanning and eventually 3D printing. So we're going to get into all kinds of stuff, painting and everything else. So stay tuned. Each session will be targeted for 45 minutes, and they might go as fast as half an hour, but not over an hour. So that's kind of our range for all the different lessons. I will have hopefully a PDF for you guys to download of the class material, so you can find the actual things I'm talking about with links, hopefully, so you'll be able to buy stuff if you want to, or just find out what it is I use. All right. Anything else?
We got Adrian the Prince thanking you for the help and saying he really appreciates it.
All right. Thanks, Adrian. Hey, if you guys did not see my cool Beastman reveal, check it out. I do have a close-up of this cool Beastman on there as well. Flocked Beastman.
And it looks like before we go, we got Master Far with one more. So far you can make a Ninjor from Braun Strowman's waist, Roman Reigns' legs, Finn Balor's arms, and Rey Mysterio's feet.
That's pretty cool. All right, I don't have all those wrestling guys. I only have a couple, but yeah, that's a good idea. Excellent. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next live video. And don't forget, this weekend we're going to start our online classes live. Bye now. You're welcome.